We were very, very excited and honoured that we were going to get a temple in Australia.
The thought of having one on a bus ride away was very, very thrilling.
I remember my husband Peter telling us as a family, myself and the 7 children, that the temple was going to be built in Sydney.
We had Bruce R. McConkie here and he did the groundbreaking.
And we used to go up there and watch it being built.
After it had actually been built, the statue couldn't go up on there because they thought that the glow of the statue would go into their lounge rooms and things.
It was all very animated, but it was handled beautifully.
Apparently it took a year for the council to say yes.
And within hours.
And then within the very next day the statue had gone up. Yes.
And I was up there when they erected the statue on the top. It was huge. When you look up and see it, you know, it's just quite a small statue. But when you see it on the ground, I think it is about 20 foot high. We watched them hoist it up.
I was about 12 years old when our family went down to the Sydney Australia Temple for its dedication. That was back in 1984. It was a big journey, coming all the way from regional Queensland. That's about 1,600 kilometres away. But as a 12-year-old, there's 3 main things that I remember. Firstly, arriving at the temple, beautiful building, and I was quite amazed with its structure. And then putting on the white shoe coverings and walking down the hall, and I just remember noticing the beautiful artwork and the ornate tables with the vases of flowers.
We were asked to be greeters during the open house, greet them with a smile, and thousands of people went through the temple at that time.
And I remember thinking what a beautiful and large white building it was. We took the 2 children, there were many, many people there, and we were in one of the ante-rooms of the temple. As we looked around, we saw President Hinckley come in, a number of the brethren, and then the service began. It was wonderful. There was a great spirit there. And my husband had felt that this would be a great experience for the older children who could attend, something that they could remember as they developed their testimonies.
I would have been one of the youngest there, and I felt kind of special. We sat down, there's some beautiful prayers said and ceremony, and I remember pulling out my white handkerchief with everybody else and joining in the Hosanna shout. I think at this point I noticed that there was a lot of tears in the eyes, and especially some of the older folks, and it was quite an emotional experience for them, I remember. The other thing I remember was how special this was to my mother and father, and they had big wide smiles.
I was fortunate enough to be there at one of the doors as a greeter, and at the time Elder Hinckley went by and shook my hand and said I did a wonderful job, which I thought was lovely.
All of us people who were working at the temple, sitting in one of the celestial rooms, you know, and we sat in the corner, and the choir was there, and they started singing Hallelujah, the chorus. There's a crescendo at the back. Ooh, the skin was crawling up and down my back, and honestly I felt as if I could waft up to heaven at that perfect minute. Tommy came to me holding a man by a shoulder, and this man was, well, he became the president of the church. I stuck his picture up on the wall.
It's a special occasion in one's life, and I'm sure that the effect was there for the family. But that memory stayed with us, and we thought of that every time that we did attend in the future afterwards.
The feelings I remember was that I felt quite at home there, and I guess I was pretty lucky. My parents always wanted to have a temple focus and a temple-centered home, and so that same spirit was very familiar to me.
It's lovely to have our own temple.
Yeah.
We're grateful for that, aren't we?
We certainly are.
Yes.
Actually, it was a bit like having a secret joy, because it was our temple, you know, ours.